Collega Jerome Servus, president Commissione per demarcazioni, presidente als rechtsverantwoordelijk tot japing aan de declarator media. Om declarator dat geen koor voor 3 punten bij toe experten.
Përshëndetje të gjithëve. Para pak minutash, Komisioni ad hoc I ekspertëve ndërkombëtar më dorëzua në raportin me vlerësimin e tyre. Përshëndetje të gjithëve. Para pak minutash, Komisioni ad hoc I ekspertëve ndërkombëtar më dorëzuan raportin me vlerësimin e tyre për procesin e përcaktimit të vijës kufitare mes Republikës së Kosovës dhe Republikës së Malit të Zi. Nga aspekti ligjor dhe teknik, ekspertët ndërkombëtar nuk kanë gjetur shkelje në procesin e demarkacionit mes Kosovës dhe Malit të Zi dhe kanë vlerësuar se nga ky pikë vështrim, procesi u është përmbajtur standardeve ndërkombëtare. Njëkohësisht, Komisioni ka vlerësuar se ky proces I demarkacionit është dashur të jetë më transparent se që kërkon praktika evropiane. Përfshir familiarizimin e publikut kosovar me procesin e vendosjes së kufirit, ligjet në fuqi, hartat kartografike dhe gjetjet geodezike. Dua të nënvizoj që raporti ekspertëve përbën një vlerësim të pavarur në përputhje me mandatin e ekspertëve dhe të komisionit që të sigurojnë një vlerësim shtesë për procesin e demarkacionit. Siç e dini, ky komision I thirrur dhe I përzgjedhur nga unë para 2 javësh për të vlerësuar këtë proces të demarkacionit, gjatë punës së tij ka biseduar me një spektër të gjerë profesionistësh, qytetarësh dhe udhëheqës partijak e institucional. Atë kanë krijuar pas shqetësimeve të ngritura rreth vijës kufitare shtetërore mes Kosovës dhe Malit të Zi, dhe si rezultat të bisedimeve me gjithë spektrin politik si një zgjidhje institucionale për të adresuar parregullsitë eventuale në këtë proces. Dua të falenderoj zotin Fletcher Burton, zotin Herbert Wilmes dhe zotin Fred Newton për punën e tyre dhe njëkohësisht të gjithë bashkëbiseduesit e tyre në Kosovë për bashkëpunimin e tyre me ekspertët. Ftoj institucionet e Kosovës dhe spektrin politik që të reflektojnë dhe të marrin parasysh këto vlerësime dhe rekomandime. Zoti Burton, zoti Wilmes dhe zoti Newton, ju ftoj të njoftoni mediat me të gjeturat tuaja. Ju falenderoj.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for that too. Thank you for the initiative to launch the ad hoc commission to review the process by which the Kosovo State Commission delineated the border in close collaboration with the Montenegrin counterpart. On a personal note, may I thank you as well for the extraordinary hospitality that my colleagues and I have received in the course of our deliberations over the past couple of weeks. Extraordinary. I want to thank your team as well, who have been most generous in their support and their hospitality. I know that border debates can be very difficult. Border debates can be robust. In fact, I have personal experience, and here in Kosovo as well. As some of you know, I was the Deputy ICR, Deputy International Civilian Representative at the moment of birth of this young state. So I had a familiarity with your charter documents. I also had the responsibility of supervising the demarcation with your southern neighbor, with Macedonia. I learned there how difficult these debates can be, how important they are to the entire country, and how important they are to get right. I also learned in that experience that these debates can be handled well, and that the process can be successfully concluded. And that was my interest in accepting your gracious invitation, Madam President, to come back and offer what I could to the Ad hoc Commission. I am pleased to have been grouped with my other colleagues here, Dr. Vilmuth, Mr. Newton. That has been a very important part of our work, our own internal collaboration. We had extraordinary access throughout our couple of weeks of endeavor, extraordinary access. And I thank all those who met with us, who took the time to lay out their views, both the supporters of the agreement signed in August of last year, both those supporters and the critics. And we laid great emphasis on that very fact, that we would have the access to reach out, to listen to all arguments, to take a fresh perspective on the border debate and the issues at the heart of it, to bring our international perspective to bear, also, as I mentioned, our personal experience and our professional expertise. We tried to bring all that to this very difficult debate. We spent the first few days here in the Capitol talking to all those with an interest in this matter. We had great access to those in government, to those in opposition, to those with an academic or professional interest in the matter. That then set the baseline as we headed out into the border region with Montenegro. We had a chance to meet with all 4 mayors of those border municipalities. That was very important as well. We spoke with concerned citizens at a round table to hear their views personally, those who live in the region, those who feel a personal stake in the matter. That was important for us as well. We then took time to travel to the border itself, where on the course of a snowy afternoon, we got a first-hand impression of the border itself and then some of the contested areas. That was important as we tried to get a personal and a professional understanding of this contentious issue. We then headed over the mountains. We were to focus on the process of the Kosovo State Commission, which we did, and that formed the very heart of our inquiry. But we also wanted to hear from the counterpart body, from the Montenegrin State Commission, and I thank them for seeing us, for welcoming us to their deliberations, for being very open so that we could understand their side of this, what I call conjunctive process. It's a conjunctive process. A borderline is done not unilaterally, but in conjunction with another state commission. Then we came back. We had more meetings here, again, all in the interest of an impartial inquiry so that we could best refine our understanding of the issue and then come to our final report. Madam President, that's what we pledge to you, a final report with 2 main sections, findings and recommendations. So one more time, we have now delivered our final report with findings and recommendations. Findings on the process from our different perspectives, and then recommendations to enlarge the debate, to give it a different cast, to give it an international perspective, which is what we brought to bear on the issue. Because of my ICO background, because I served as deputy ICR, I had a familiarity with the charter documents of Kosovo, particularly with the Constitution. The very heart of this young state, the constitutional framework. I paid particular attention to it as well as to other charter documents, as I call them, other laws, other regulations. That was my focus, the legal criteria of this process of delineation, the legal foundation of the work of the State Commission here on this side in particular, but of course, as I said, in conjunction with the work of the other bodies. And now I wish to share with you my findings. It's elaborated upon in the report itself, which we submitted today. There's a further elaboration of some key themes, but let me give you what I consider the key findings, again, from my perspective, bringing my experience to bear, and it deals with the legal foundation. We found after our inquiry that the Kosovo State Commission rested on a very strong foundation. The process had a very sound legal basis. Because of that fact, we found that, again, from the legal angle, the process of the work of the Kosovo State Commission had validity. I now will turn it over.
Thank you. My name is Herbert Wilmes. Let me start with a few words of my biography. I studied geodesy at the University in Bonn in Germany, and I also passed my PhD examination there. I have a degree in geodesy at the University of Theoretical Geodesy in Bonn. I worked for a few years as assistant teacher at the university, and then I underwent an additional education as a chartered surveyor and civil servant, 2 years examination. The subject of this work is the property as concerns private person as well as the delineation of different state grounds. After this period, I went to a scientific research institute in Munich, and my next affiliation was the Federal Agency for Cartography and Geodesy in Frankfurt am Main. During this time, my subjects were scientific. They were related to satellite geodesy as well as to gravity field determination. But I also, during 20 years, I was a member in mixed boundary commissions with our neighbor states, namely with Austria, with the Czech Republic, with Poland, and with the Netherlands. And this was an excellent experience for me to see what a good influence such border commissions can have on the friendly and cooperative work together of the neighboring states. And I think it can also be a good example for the time which is coming for your state and for your neighbor state, Montenegro. Let me also thank, like Mr. Burton, for the help and support which we got during our time when we tried to get all information about the procedure and about the technical background. So my view is focused more to the technical background. I found that 2 state boundary commissions in Kosovo and in Montenegro, they applied the modernist technique available. GNSS, Global Navigation Satellite System, GPS is an example of this technique.
who was an acting director at the time, also concerned the very issues of IBM. As far as IBM per se is concerned, within the exercise that we have just undertaken, it is absolutely vital, as I say, that we have a proper and sound border between the two countries, because IBM